The other thing that I see people, and this is particularly those students who are coming to me right at the beginning of the dissertation stage, I see a big difference between those students and the other group of students that I see a lot of are folks who have turned their dissertation in and been told you don't have enough resources or you don't have enough quality resources in your literature review. I see students who come in who, are at the proposal stage, but they've wanted to kind of make their own measure, use their own test or measure for their research, and they've been told, what you have isn't sufficient. You need to look for, and they're at the stage where they need to find something that's already done because they don't have time anymore to go through and,
Right.
Rewrite that, get it in reference, use it in their research. So those are the things that I see that, I see a big difference between the students who come in early in the dissertation process because the other thing I see sometimes is students just not having any idea of how many resources they really need to be citing for
Right.
a quality dissertation. I mean, if you look in the dissertation and theses database, on average, most dissertations, you're talking, upwards of 80,
Yeah.
somewhere in the 80 to 130 range for
Right.
citations.
Right.
And I've had folks come in and they've, maybe cited 20 or 30 things, and it's like, well, that's not a dissertation. You have to be exhaustive. So I think that's where I see kind of the pitfalls, and I don't know how common that is, but it is a very clear difference between students who come in and talk early on in the process versus students who are just kind of winging it on their own. And
Right.
then,
And we're talking foot traffic, right? Are you getting a lot of people
Yeah.
pinging you online?
no, I do get a lot of online.
Do you get more online than you do foot traffic?
Yes.
Okay. And I am particularly interested in that. So, is
Let me see.
are the people that are pinging you online hitting on you because they're in Miami or Tallahassee or somewhere else and they can't get in here? Or are they just people that are utilizing the net and they know they can reach you that way?
I would say the majority are people who live outside of the immediate area. I do get a few people who, folks who live in like Crestview
Right.
or, Crestview or Mobile or something, where they will occasionally come in and meet with me face to face. But once they find out that I'm willing to meet with them online, it saves
Yeah.
them the drive
And I would
over
do that
here.
too.
Yeah.
So you see a lot of people, so the people in the online programs are reaching out to you. I mean, I don't know if they're trying to get help locally, but I find that interesting that they would. I have often
Yeah.
thought about that. It's kind of like, and I don't want to get off topic, but building up your committee and stuff from a remote location.
Mm-hmm.
That's another conversation I'd like to have on the side.
Yeah, I mean, if you're looking at, let's see, so this last year, it's hard because I don't have stats that break it out by
Right.
like doctoral program versus, I get a lot of face-to-face traffic with my social work students because I also work with the social work, the MSW and the BSW students, but they're here, those classes are majority face-to-face.
Right, and that's in a grad program, right? Or is that a
Yeah,
doc program?
MSW is graduate program,
Okay.
yeah.
Right.
And but then the doctoral program, those students, I would say it's about 40% face-to-face traffic, 60% online.
That's a lot of people.
So
That's interesting. All right. Okay, so from a doc student perspective, what relationship should be cultivated that's going to enable you to efficiently and effectively navigate the program? And that doesn't exactly have to be within CAP. Well, it would be within CAPS.
are you saying like relationship?
Well, this is from a personal thing. This isn't from a library point of view.
Okay, so but are you saying like a student's relationship with me as the librarian or with every, kind of like people in general in the program, or what's
Yes, because I
people in
know,
general in the program?
right, because see, my goal, and I know there are certain people in the program that students really need to get to know if
Okay.
they're on the
Okay.
ground.
I see what you're asking. I would say the relationships,
You don't
the
have to
most
name
successful,
names.
the most successful students that I see are the ones who are concerned with those networking opportunities, and that means really taking the time to make connections with the faculty members in the department, who are thinking early and often about who they want on their committees, reaching out to those people who are working with the doctoral support center. They're they're talking with their classmates, and they really seem to have a connection with the other people in the program.
Right.
Versus students who, I've had students who come in and they've maybe met their advisor once or twice, you know what I mean, versus having regular check-ins with them.
Right.
And that's where, again, because I do see those students who have gotten to the point where they have a dissertation written and they've been told that it's not acceptable.
Right.
And the people, relationship-wise, the people have seen who are in that situation a lot of times have not cultivated those relationships with the faculty members and with their committee, and so they're not getting regular feedback from those people.
Just as an aside on that, have the people that you've seen that had to go back and do rewrites on their thesis or dissertation, did they complete their comps before Dr. Godwell and company showed up?
I have no idea.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a
Do you see a lot of that?
not a lot. I would say,
Like 20% of them?
not even that high.
Oh, okay.
No. A handful, maybe one or two a semester.
Right. Well, you would think at that level that people should know,
Yeah. Yeah.
and that's a
It's been tailing off, let's put it that way.
yeah.
So that's been good.
That's interesting. Okay, so let's get off on this because I'm finding this particularly interesting too, and this is leading on to some of the other support services that I was looking at on. I can't remember if that was in KEPS or not. So you mentioned the Doc Support Center. Okay, and I know there are other resources that were available. So, and I'm not very familiar with that. So, is the Doc Support Center here in this in
It's
86?
in this building, yeah. They're over the hall and down.
Right, and what do they do?
So the Doctoral Support Center, and I guess now it's the Doctoral Support and Quality Assurance Center. They're really there for dissertation support, and they will help with editing, formatting, giving feedback on drafts of the dissertation, assistance as far as finding. A lot of times, one of the things I get students coming in a lot is kind of software help, like SPSS, things like that. And I have very bare bones knowledge of SPSS. There are tutorials that the university has online that people can access through Atomic Learning and my EWF. I send people that direction, and also to the Doctoral Support Center to kind of, because even if they aren't providing that assistance or tutoring and the software stuff directly, they usually know who on campus
Right.
can help people with that.
So for doc students that are coming over here and they're utilizing the resources, they're talking to you. So they're talking to you and doing their research, and they're doing their APA stuff, and they're chugging through coursework, and they're doing what they need to do. And you would think that, and they're putting in the effort that they should be in their coursework. They're going to sail through their comps, and then they utilize the people down the hall, and they
Yeah.
and they develop their dissertation. And so there really is a one-stop, and the resources are available if people use
Yes.
them, and those are the ones that are having a much easier time navigating the system than
Yeah.
people that are not,
Yeah.
you would think.
No. And people who are thinking ahead, because I think what I sometimes see is people, they're like, I'm gonna get my coursework done and then I'll think about my dissertation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or
Yeah,
I'm gonna get my coursework done and then I'll think about my comps.
Right.
And I think people who are approaching the whole program holistically,
Yeah.
all those pieces together, are the ones that I see who are,
Yeah, and that makes sense.
more successful, I guess.
Yeah,
I should.
that's a good one.
So I'm just gonna switch to-
So let's see. You kind of touched on this one already, so let's talk about this one. What resources would you recommend that are available outside the library that would be of value to a doc student in the program? And this is in reference to navigating the whole system.
Yeah, so I would definitely say, the doctoral support center. The other things that I see, doctoral support center, looking at some of those things in atomic learning in my UWF, like those SPSS tutorials, things like that are a little more self-guided but can support the coursework that you're doing. The other thing, I think sometimes students, especially doctoral students, don't think about the other services that are available to them as students at the university, and because a lot of the marketing of that is targeted to the undergraduate students, but counseling and wellness services, things like that are available to the doctoral students. And I think sometimes the people I will see who come in who are really struggling, maybe they have some other things that are going on in their life, and it's like that plus the stress of the doctoral program, they're barely staying afloat. And when I say, well, have you thought about going and talking to, the mental health counselors? No, because that's not, they don't think of that as a service that's available for them as doctoral students. But it is, absolutely.
Right.
So those would be some of the resources, I guess, that I see that I don't see people utilizing. The other thing is the writing lab for coursework assignments, because the doctoral support center is mainly dissertation focused, but sometimes I'll see people who are struggling with the writing aspect in their coursework, and the writing lab, they can come in person, they can do it online. So I feel like that really gets underutilized by the doctoral students in the coursework period, because they won't help with dissertation stuff. That's dissertation support.
Right. Well, I've found that, and I'd kind of like your opinion on that too, and I've never met Dr. Godwell, but I'm definitely looking for him. I have found that some professors over there in that building, and I'm assuming he's over there by the Performing Arts Center, right?
Yeah.
Two in particular, Dr. Bagwell and Dr. Melissa, have gone far, and especially Dr. Bagwell, because I know her a little bit more, have gone far and beyond to help. And is that the kind of atmosphere that they have going on over there, and Dr. Godwell's promotes that?
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, I think the idea is, and I think that's what I meant by cultivating those relationships, because I think, at UWF in general, but particularly in the departments I work with, whether it's doctoral program, teacher education, social work.
What's that program called? That's the
Research and Advanced Studies is the
right.
department.
RAS.
Yeah, RAS. They really will, they're happy to help people who are looking for help, but people have to look for the help.
Right.
I guess is you know what I mean?
Yes, I do. And you got to go over the ground. You got to go over there.
Right.
And bang on their door, because
Right.
and if you do that, you're going to get some help.
Right. No, absolutely.
And I have certainly found that. So, as an aside on the dissertation and thesis process, I know Dr. Godwell, I know he's involved in every dissertation that's coming through there. Is that correct?
That is my perception. Yes.
All right. Can you elaborate on anything else that you'd feel comfortable
As far
talking
as
about on that? I don't know, navigating the system and developing a short list of people that I might want to talk to, so that when I do get in front of them, I'm going to know who they are and they're going to know me. And
yeah, that. I mean,
we'll take up that on the side. All right, so So based on your experience, what are certain characteristics or things that students in the program do that help them to be successful? So it's utilizing the resources and whatnot, right?
Yeah, utilizing the resources, making those personal connections with people, and thinking about it holistically. I would
Right.
say those are the big three of, you know, people who are really making the program work for them are doing those three things.
It sounds deceptively simple, doesn't it?
Yeah, easier said than done.
So do you have anything that you'd like to add that is going to help me to be successful in this program? Other than what we've talked about already and coming to see you from time to time?
No, I think it really is just that keeping the dissertation and the comprehensive exams in mind while you're going through your coursework, thinking back to what you've done with your coursework when you're at the comprehensive and dissertation stages, it's really going to make a difference.
All right.
So,
Okay. That's what I thought. All right. Well, thanks for taking time out. I appreciate
no,
it.
I'm happy to do that.
I think that thing stopped.